Okay, so it looks bad. 7 European defeats for England's 7 Champions Cup representatives was their worst return in European history. Given 4 of the games were at home, it bodes ill for the reverse fixtures this weekend. Fair play to their Pro 14 and Top 14 rivals, but hang on, are we saying Bath have no chance at home to Toulon, that Leicester are doomed when they entertain Munster at Welford Road, and that La Rochelle are guaranteed to win at Wasps? All are potentially competitive fixtures, all could still go either way. Even if 3 away wins materialize, there are 2 more rounds of pool games to come. Admittedly, an away draw in the last 8 is less than ideal, but European fates are not solely determined in round 3. Get the best players on the pitch, obvious, perhaps, but it helps big time in Europe. Would Saracens have been cut to shreds had Maro Itoje, Billy Vunipola, Schalke Brits, Juan Figallo, Michael Rhodes, Duncan Taylor and Liam Williams been available for selection and Brad Barrett not departed prematurely? Admittedly, Clermont have their own crisis at fly-half, but in Oliver Reiki and Wesley Fofana they have 2 of the most dangerous backs anywhere on the continent. Leinster had all their key lions on deck at Exeter, while the collective strength of La Rochelle's squad is increasingly apparent. A Leicester 15 containing both Manu Tuilagi and Matt Tumua on Sunday, with a newly arrived Tatafu Pilot now also on the bench, will be a different kind of beast at Welford Road. Wasps, similarly, will gleefully welcome back number 8 Nathan Hughes, but Bath must soldier on without the great Taulupe Faletau for the foreseeable future. Learn from history: if a team win the first leg of back-to-back pool fixtures in Europe, it is no guarantee they will do so the following week. Last season, of the 10 teams who won in round 3, only 4 managed to complete the double. Exeter, as now, lost at home to Bordeaux only to go away and score their first win on French soil the following week. Only Northampton, well beaten at home by Leinster, also took a serious hiding in the reverse fixture, going down 6,013. Remember 201,516 when Wasps were beaten 2,523 at home by Bath only to go down to the recreation ground and win 3,610. That same season Exeter beat Clermont 3,114 at home before being thumped 4,210 in the Massif Central a few days later. Both Wasps and Exeter still reached the last 8 despite their variable December form. Get real: Northampton and Harlequins are both toiling in the bottom half of the Premiership and were never going to be European title contenders this year, with the latter crushed 5,224 in Ulster last night. Leicester remain a squad in a transitional phase, Bath continue to blow strangely hot and cold, and Wasps are still getting over the loss of the outstanding Kurt Beale. In terms of realistic English threats this season, Exeter and Saracens, the Premiership's top 2 sides, were always going to be the best prepared. Yet both were drawn in ferociously tough pools and paid the price for underperforming fractionally against top-quality opposition. Does that instantly make them poor teams? Only in the eyes of those who them infrequently. Exeter, in particular, will be tactically cuter in Dublin and tend to thrive when there is little expectation. It will be no surprise if their rematch with Leinster proves an absolute thriller. Think like Eddie Jones: it is a fact of life that relatively few England players have skipped back to their clubs after an intense month on the training ground under Eddie Jones's full eye. Those who have not been injured and are operating at the top of their form can be counted on the fingers of one hand. Their club coaches have a choice: leave them out, put an arm around their shoulders, or bluntly tell them to front up and show they justify future inclusion. There was a sense of some teams slightly tiptoeing into battle last weekend, not least Saracens, who responded rather less positively to the rescheduling of their delayed game with Clermont than their opponents. A clear theatre meeting followed and some home truths have been articulated. If Jones was in charge, the equation would be ruthlessly simple: give me the most ferocious 80 minutes you can, or else I pick someone else. Last week's frustrations could yet supply crucial extra motivation. Dangle a carrot for a clutch of individuals. This is a pivotal weekend in terms of their international prospects. Jones and Steve Borthwick will be at Bath's game against Toulon, which makes it a massive 80 minutes for Tom Dunn, Beno Abano and Charlie Ewells, all young English forwards with test ambitions. Henry Slade, Luke Cowan-Dickey and Jack Nowell will be similarly motivated for Exeter and Dublin. Jones has specifically said he wants all his England squad to make a strong impression either side of Christmas in advance of the Six Nations, although Dylan Hartley and Sam Underhill are both unavailable this weekend. Jones and Borthwick will also attend Wasps v La Rochelle on Sunday, a detail which will not escape the attention of James Haskell, Elliot Daly, Joe Launchbury, Nathan Hughes, Dan Robson or Danny Cipriani. Be smarter tactically. There has been some average stuff floating around. Play it fast and loose away in La Rochelle. Ruinous. Miss tackles and allow Claremont to surge repeatedly over the gain line. Ditto. It is easier said than done, but England's leading representatives need to park their customary premiership mindsets and think a little differently. Exeter, in particular, need to locate slightly more variety and kick better against Leinster. The Chiefs will be keen to demonstrate there is more to them than a decent rolling maul, positive intent and decent hands. Saracens, among other things, need to find ways of pressurizing the Claremont halfbacks and disrupting the French side's momentum, as well as tightening their previously exemplary defence. All concerned also have to make more of an impact at the breakdown, where several English back row units were second best last weekend. Improve there and it is not inconceivable 3 or 4 of the previous week's outcomes could be reversed.